first question that we have to understand is at what point did you realize that you wanted to get into the political arena?
I think somehow I've always known that I'll end up here. From as far back as maybe when I started working for, maybe how many years back? Maybe 10 years back. I did a lot of gender studies. My thesis at varsity was on gender studies and media. And then I pursued further the gender courses at University of Free State. It was at that time when I realized that some of us have to get our hands dirty and help this country. But it was not a very strong feeling. It was just at the back of my mind. And then a lot happened just before we decided to form a party. When we heard about the upcoming elections, then we thought, this is the time.
What were the issues with the gender issues that you raised? What were the issues that triggered that push?
The biggest issues was that I see a lot of families suffering in the hands of the fathers who are supposed to be protectors. Sometimes the violation of the gender-based violence was the biggest concern for me. But the biggest one for me is the economic empowerment. I come from a family of a mom and dad. My mother was not working formally. She has always been a hawker. My father was a university lecturer. And when I look at the quality of life, I always think if it was my mom who earned the money, I think the quality of life would be different. I have that feeling that if mothers are economically empowered, their families and the nation would be empowered. So how do you get that to be done? Is by asking the right questions at the right place. So the question is, who is around the table when these issues are being talked? Do we have people who are sensitive enough about inclusion in the economic activity? So it was that activism, what sparked the activism in me, it was just the gender issues. And then I thought, maybe I should be Minister of Gender. I didn't even know what it took at that time. I just thought, maybe I should be Minister of Gender to see if I can make these changes. Yeah, but fate got me here. Yes.
So what would you say has been the biggest challenge since you became minister? What are the challenges?
The biggest challenges for this ministry is that it's a very difficult ministry to understand. Basotho don't understand it as easily as they would understand the agriculture ministry, as they would understand the roads, education. We are talking about technology, something that you can't see. We are talking about science. We are talking about innovation. It's communication. So to a point that a lot of people think that this ministry only deals with radio and television, and there's a lot more that we are doing. When everybody has access on the internet, on their phones, on the computer, it is because this ministry is doing their job. And we are aware that because of the financial shortfalls, we cannot get internet throughout the country. But that is the biggest challenge. When we talk about leaving no one behind in digitization, and then we have people who live in the rural areas, in small villages, and to get a tower there, an internet tower, a connection tower, it's very expensive. But at the end of the day, it's still our call to make sure that no one is left behind. So that is the biggest challenge, that one is a ministry that is not easily understood, and to get support, you have to really work hard to make people understand what you're doing. So we are at the point where we are trying to digitize the economy, and it's another mammoth task for us. It's a mammoth task for us. We're talking about towers. We are talking about people having access to affordable data. We're talking about people having access to gadgets, to access services online. And all those things, when you look at the cost, it's not cheap for an ordinary Mosotho.
The question is, has your ministry done enough, in your opinion, to articulate the government programs
Yes.
that you have?
My ministry has done enough, and we are still continuing to do more. We got here and we realized there was a gap with policies, the right policies, with the law. We are just about to, recently we tabled the cybersecurity bill in Parliament, because we know that the cyber crimes are not covered by any law in this country. So that's what we are doing now. We've just done the digitization policy. We've done the digitization strategy. So the ecosystem of digitizing the economy is there as we speak now. We have done some study tours to see what other countries are doing. We've been to Rwanda, we've been to Kenya, so we are seeing what model would suit Lesotho better. So it's good to come after everyone else, because you can learn from the best and take the best models and come up with your own. So that's where we are now. It's a difficult journey, but we will do it. There's a lot of resilience from all corners. If you talk to Bonkgono back at home, who are supposed to be getting their stipends through electronic payments, they don't want that. They want to hold cash. For them, power is to have cash, and we don't want them to have cash. We want them to get their money through e-systems.
So has there been some resistance?
Huge one.
So how are you dealing with that?
It's just advocacy. It's just advocacy, sensitization, and just putting our foot down on some of the decisions that the government is making. We still allow those who do not have gadgets to get money physically, but we continue to advocate for online payments of grants, especially grants. That's the biggest one. And if you look at it, you know, there's been stories about money disappearing and people being paid when they're already dead and all that, mismanagement of funds. So if you do it electronically, it is very difficult to pay ghosts.
So you're cleaning up the register?
Yes, we are cleaning up the register, but we are also doing online payments. So online payments is that you get an SMS. And because we've just done SIM registration will show us that this is her number. It's not anybody's number. So it's going to save government a lot of money. We are just about to start a pilot of electronic identity, national identity. That is also a big thing. If we can achieve that, then all of us will be on the online platform. We are doing a government payment system that will pay everybody online. So if we get those done, I think digitization would be achieved before this term, before the 5 years term that we are in now. Yes.
Now, whilst there is this progress that you're talking about, there's also criticism that your government wants to use that same law to snoop into people's private communications. What's your response to that?
I don't know why people have that idea, because cybersecurity law is about protecting people's cyber activity and to get the cyber crimes to be prosecuted. I don't know why, which clause they would associate with having the government wanting to snoop into privacy.
They speak about that journalists who hold classified information can be prosecuted. So in the course of our duties, then we get hold of a classified document and write a story. Can one be prosecuted just because he's holding on to that information?
What is a crime? I don't want to dwell too much into that because I'm not a lawyer. But I know that what is a crime is getting into somebody's machine without authorization. So if your classified information was acquired using illegal means, what can we say?
Tough luck.
Tough luck. Because you can't be snooping and getting into people's gadgets, getting into the system. That's a cyber crime, and it has to be charged.
What if one of your people in government hands over the document to a journalist, which is classified?
That's not crime.
That's
not a crime. No, that's not a crime. You can. We want journalists to continue to be journalists, to do their investigation in any way they can. What is a crime would be to get it unlawfully into somebody's computer.
That makes sense. Now, when you look back, since you came, it's almost 2 years now, do you think the RFP as a part has delivered on its mandate?
We can't talk about have delivered as yet. We can't use that tense. We are still delivering. We are still in the process. We have a mandate, we have a manifesto, and we are already seeing some of those implemented. The biggest one for us is the agriculture. It's something that we can talk about proudly, that with agriculture we have always campaigned and said that every Mosotho should eat from their soil. And if you look at the production now, you'd see that there's a huge growth in agriculture. We are doing farming in both winter and summer cropping, and the yields are really promising. This country has never seen so much yields, and somebody was actually saying that the last time they saw this type of yields was when Nthati Moorosi was still the prime minister. That's a long time ago. So we've done well in agriculture. The security is another big one that I think we, as much as we came and we found huge challenges, but we've really tried to address it. We've increased the police presence on the roads. We've given them transport to get to the places wherever they have to get. They go to places where there are attacks. We have recently done something about the Batwadi Kubo. If you know, we've made some bold steps towards that to say this has to stop. So I think on security as well, we've really done well.
Can you talk about job empowerment, job creation?
Job creation is a big challenge for us. What we saw as an easiest thing to do was to open the firms, the textile firms. And then we came and realized that it's not as easy as said. I'll just give you one example of what makes it so difficult. The Durban port, for example, it's very difficult. The containers stay there for ages without either coming to Lesotho or going abroad. They come and they are there for a month. And that's beyond us. There's nothing we can do. So what does that do? It discourages investment into Lesotho because it's difficult to get material into Lesotho or to get the material out of Lesotho. These are issues that we need to address with the South African government, but it's taking forever. That's just one example that makes Lesotho more expensive to invest than other countries. But we are really working hard on ensuring that we open the firms. We are engaging a lot of investors, and the encouraging thing is that we have been able to secure huge orders. We just need to execute by taking care of the bottlenecks that are there.
Any comments on the tourism sector?
That's a huge potential. Lesotho's economy can easily depend on tourism, and we are working on making tourism easy in Lesotho. At the moment, we have some challenges. The visa is a challenge. The online visa is a challenge. That's what we are busy with now with my ministry, to ensure that visa that is applied online, it happens, and it happens smoothly without any challenges. But when you go to the mountains, a lot of tourists want to drive to these places, and there are no roads and there are no bridges. We have amazing mountains, amazing waterfalls, and what have you. But we still have to deal with the infrastructure. It's a big problem. The infrastructure, the hotels and all that. But the fact remains Lesotho's potential on tourism is huge. So what we are going to do as the ministry, we want to do a virtual tourism, like a digital museum where you can come and see Lesotho virtually, and then that can prompt you to come and visit some of the places while we wait to perfect the infrastructure side of things.
So how do people access it?
It's going to be online,
Online.
yes, but you'll have to pay for it. It's going to be online. You'll just pay a certain fee and just get into this virtual platform to see Lesotho. Yes.
Now let's talk about the state of the party, the RFP. As Secretary General of the party, we have noted that your supporters on the grassroots say your party, the leadership, has refused to call an elective conference. Your response, what's triggering this this crisis at the grassroots?
Elective conference for the National Executive Committee. It was a big subject when we came because everybody thought the committee that is there was never elected. It was elected by a few people because we are the founders of the party. But then at the general conference, annual general conference of last year, the conference resolved that there will be no elections for the next 5 years, to allow the Prime Minister and the current NEC, which is the people who founded to allow them to drive the government without any distraction. And I want to say that was a good move, because me and you know how destructive election of committees is to the party. And for us, we have to be really kind to ourselves. This is our first experience as a party to rule a country. So we can't be juggling too many balls. So the party, where it is now, let's run with it as it is. And let's concentrate more on service delivery. So that's the decision that the conference made. It's not one person. It was a conference represented by all people from the constituencies, and hence why you hear that there's calmness generally about that issue, because it was decided on. What we have to work on now is the leagues, the youth league, women's league, men's league, tertiary institutions league, and diaspora. That's what we have to work on, so that our structures are finalized. We have all structures. Yeah.
Your critics say that decision was undemocratic.
It can be debated, because I don't know what undemocratic would be if there was a conference with everybody present and no one raised a hand to say this is not right, and the hall was full of representatives from the whole of Lesotho, and were there the whole night, and not one person raised a hand to say there's something wrong here. And then we come out of a conference and somebody says it was undemocratic. I think it's debatable.
Okay. So when you listen to these supporters, what is at the core of their grievances when you listen?
Jobs. Our people want to be employed. Our young people are aggrieved. They are qualified. Some have university degrees, diplomas, and they are not employed. So far, the only body that seems to be absorbing young people is the government, and it's wrong. Hence why we talk about private sector-led economy that can lead and employ people. So employment is the biggest challenge. That's the biggest challenge is employment, let alone the infrastructure, the bridges, and there are many social ills. But right now is that people want to be employed, and we have to make sure that we get that one right. Hence our negotiation with a lot of countries on opening farms, on assembling tractors here, assembling cell phones. Those are the kind of conversations we have with all the investors.
there any new developments that the government is working on to stimulate this economic activity so that the private sector can partner with the government and create the jobs?
Well, I don't know if I can call it new per se, but we want to see Basotho owning those firms. That's new. All along, we've seen Taiwanese, Chinese being the leaders in the textile industries. And textile industry, we are aware that is the biggest economic or rather job creation path. So we are trying to encourage Basotho business people to be the ones owning those firms, to partner with people from outside, private sector from outside the country, but to ensure that our people are at the forefront. And we also want to see women. I think it's about time we have some of these firms owned by women.
Now let's talk about something which is let's say there are no elections right away. How would you rate the chances of the RFP, given what we have gone through over the past 2 years?
If it was to come now, and not 2 months ago, we are still going to come out right. 2 months ago or 3 months ago, I could have been shaky. But right now, we are on point.
Why?
Because the work that we've been doing in the background is beginning to be seen now. Every ministry, if you can go to anybody, you go to Ministry of Water, they will tell you, we've just done the lowlands water system. It's coming, the water is coming. We are going to Mafeteng. You know, things are happening that people have been waiting for. You talk to Minister of Works, he will tell you, we are going to connect the whole of this country. The road from Sehlabatebe, we've decided it's not ending in Sehlabatebe, rather it's continuing to Mokgotlo. So that means people in Mokgotlo don't have to come to Masilu to go to Tabatseka and all that. So every ministry where we are today is at that point where delivery is actually happening. So if we were to go now, I would have a lot of meat to put in the campaign messages.
Tell me about the Prime Minister. I don't know him. Most people don't know him. They just know that he was a businessman. What sort of a man is he in managing this team, this government? How would you describe him?
The one thing that is really outstanding about the Prime Minister is that he believes he can. Nothing is impossible for him. When you talk about how difficult things are, he says he will do it. And he does. His strongest point is that he delivers. He's somebody who delivers. He's somebody who, if he believes in something, he will do it. He can even use his own money. He came, he was already disturbed by the darkness of this city. Long time, just as we came. And immediately, he got the lights from the border on. All the lights were on. Same time. And he ensured that we removed pavement so that we green this country. So he is that type who if he believes in something, he will do it and he will deliver on it no matter what. Very focused. He doesn't want to distract himself too much with too many things. That's why he said, you know what, we didn't come here for committees. We came here to serve. It's not about us. It's about those people that we promised that we were coming here for, who elected us into office. So we cannot be swamped and just be concentrating on ourselves and our positions. If I'm maintaining to be there, it's going to distract us from the main objective. The objective is this one. So he's that person who doesn't want to be distracted on his goal. And I want to really say that Lesotho has never seen a better prime minister. It might have taken us long to get to where we are. And right now we are just going to be delivering. You'll see it. We came and we had a lot of problems. There was no money. We came, there was no money in the fiscus. And we had to do some savings. We had to cut some spending here and there to get to where we are. We got here, and sometimes people would not get salaries on the 25th. And we've changed that. It has never happened that on the 25th, no one is paid. People are paid on time. Bills are paid on time. Wherever the loans are paid on time, the country loans are paid on time. Everyone is happy with us. The performance is really better now. So I think that's the kind of leader that you have, and I think we are grateful that he's not a leader who answers everything. He's a leader who is very focused on the goal. Yeah.
The RFP, does it have term limits?
The party
The
or
party.
people?
The party.
As in what? I don't understand.
Does Nthati will run for the next 5 years? Then it's going to
Oh,
be elected
okay.
for the next 5 years, or it's open-ended.
The constitution is silent on that. We are going to be embarking on constitution amendment after the second AGC. We can only get that mandate from AGC, but AGC, from my report as the SG, I'm going to report that the constitution has a lot of gaps. So these are some of the issues that have to be in the constitution. But at least the leader has promised that he would give us maybe 2 terms. So we are hopeful that in 2027 we are still going with him, which is good.
Now, I'll ask you a personal question here.
Yes.
As a woman, do you at one point see yourself as the Prime Minister of Lesotho?
That's a very sensitive question because regardless of how innocent my response would be, somebody's going to feel like I'm already aspiring and doing what and all that. But look, I think Lesotho is ready for a female prime minister. I think women of this country have proved to Basotho that they can, that they are able, that they are capable. You see, you look at them, everywhere they are given responsibility to lead, they do very well. We now see the banks starting to see them as well. And we think it's about time that politics also start seeing them. It's about time.
So it's a yes, I suppose.
It's a yes in my time. You know, I think that positions like that, it's not about you. It's about people and it's about God. It's a calling. It's not something that you say, I'm going to be the prime minister of this country. It's about whether people want you and whether God wants to put you there. And if that tomo, if I may call it, that calling can come my way, I would take it happily. I would serve. I would be happy to serve at that level. Yeah.
Any comments on the recent elections in South Africa? What's your opinion?
I'm just feeling sorry for them.
Why?
Because coalition governments are not easy at all. And for the first time, we might be called to go and mediate. For the longest time, they've been coming to mediate in our issues based on coalition governments. So now is their time. But maybe they would learn from all of us and come up with a model that works. I know they're already having challenges here and there about agreeing on things. It's very hard. It's not going to be easy. But I think the president is a strong person and he's humble enough to listen, because the biggest thing about leadership is that one should be able to listen and act on time.